Livio.
Yo, what up, Dre? How are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Livio.
I'm great. Who else on the line?
That's my partner, Ali, on the line.
Ali, how you doing, sir?
Hey, Livio, it's a pleasure to finally talk to you.
I know, right? Shit, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate the
Absolutely.
opportunity, brother.
Absolutely, man. So let's just hop right into it, man. We wanted to give the reader and, the aspiring musician a good, understanding of music publishing. And you were one of the first people that came to mind. Your experience, your credentials speaks volumes, and, we thought you'd be the perfect person to interview on the topic. But before we get into that, I think that your history and, how you got involved and became the EVP of Notting Hill is such an interesting story that, I think it'll be important for you to share that with everybody before we get into the music publishing component, just so they can understand who you are and why you are that person. You know what I mean?
No doubt. Makes sense. So with me, it was more coming from Kansas City, Missouri, basically moving to Cali, didn't know anybody, and just kind of found my way around writing for free. And then that turned into a record deal with Uptown Records with Diddy. It was like my A&R actually, back in 1990. And then from there, as an artist in a group called For Sure, it didn't totally work out. Like the label didn't really blow it up, so they was focused on, Jodeci or whatever. So I said, look, I got to find another route. And I was influenced by Michael Bivins, Andre, and Russell, actually, so Russell Simmons. So then I ran into this girl named Adina Howard, actually. So she had a record called Freak Like Me. And that blew her up, blew me up. And then from there, the publishing company in London was like, you wrote, produced, and as A&R, her executive produced her. We want to do a pub deal with you. And I was like, I didn't want to really do a deal, but what I said, I'll do an admin deal versus a publishing deal. And then they said, well, we don't know anyone in America. Can you be our eyes and ears? I said, I'm not knowing what I was doing technically, but I'm, on the job training, winging it. Came back to, to L.A. My first signing was Will Smith. And he's still with us internationally. We have an international deal with him. It's been 20 years with this company that I've been developing it, and with them, the chairman and the president. And I've been here 20 years, and then I started building the stuff up here in America, which was, the Nellies after that. It was, Air Force Ones. It was some Beyonce stuff, some Destiny's Child, and Outkast, 10 Million Sold Roses, that album that they had together collectively, and Eminem and Michael Jackson. So the company grew. The chairman actually now moved from London to America because this company in America is as big, if not bigger, than the UK company in London.
Wow, man.
Wow.
That is absolutely impressive. So
that's the story.
You've actually, been around rubbing shoulders with the greats pretty much throughout your whole career.
Yeah, 26 years total, and 20 of that was publishing. So, definitely still here. I'm kind of shocked myself. Like, wow. Every time I try to step out of this game, something keeps calling me back. So
wow.
That's where I'm at.
Wow.
I got another 10, 15 left in this game, and I'm be on the yacht with Dre, in Puerto Rico.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Damn.
For real, man. So let's just get on the topic, man. What is the importance of music publishing? Because the majority of the people that are going to read this, they're not really going to understand what it actually means to have a publishing deal. What are the roles that a publishing company plays, and kind of break that down in detail.
Yeah, so publishing company, most people, it's really like you write a song, and that song is worth a lot. It could be worth a lot of money, and then what publishers do is we make sure you get your money, one, and we try to expand on that. So, say example, if you write a song, you might think it's just a song, but then we look at it like, wow, that song is great. Let's try to get this to Beyonce. So we act as a liaison of getting your records to the labels, the A&Rs, the managers, the artists, and then if they like the song is on, say, Beyonce, then it blows up, and it blows you up as a songwriter or a producer, and and it generates a lot of money. And a lot of people say, it's more like it could be money for your kids and your kids' kids. So it's kind of like you as a writer is an investment in yourself, but then, you do need a publisher. Even if you don't do a publishing deal, you still need an administration deal, which is basically where you still own the rights to all your records, but you'll be out there collecting as a bill collector all over the world, Africa, Germany, France, the U.S., to collect the monies for you, because the average person, you're right, doesn't know, wow, I got a record that sold 10 million copies on Lady Gaga. How do I get that money? They don't really know. So people like us act as a liaison to go not only collect the money around the world for you, make sure you get paid on time. It's twice a year you get paid, and then at the same time try to find other avenues of generating money from that record. Like Freak Like Me, believe it or not, was Adina Howard's biggest record, and then her album, I did like 9 records on that record, and believe it or not, 20 years later, I'm still getting checks in the mail from records that I did 20 years ago. So
wow.
A lot of people don't know that either. They just give it away. Yeah, I'll just give you my publishing for you. Give me $1,000. You can have it, but that record might be a lifeline. I won't really say a name, but we have someone in our company, right? They wrote a smash record, literally in the 80s. Well, I'll say names. Fuck it. All right, Leon Silvers wrote "And the Beat Goes On" for the Whispers. I don't know you heard the record. And the beat goes on. So now, mind you, he wrote that in the maybe the late 70s, early 80s, right? And here it is. Fast forward 2005. Actually, no, 2008. We get a phone call saying Chrysler's looking for a song that says that the Chrysler 3000 or Chrysler goes on and on and on. So they're like, perfect song. And believe it or not, that record, just to play the record in the commercial for 30 seconds, and a lot of people don't know this, it's called licensing, or they call it sync fee. Just for the sync fee for that one song in a Chrysler commercial for 30 seconds, the payout was $750,000.
Wow.
Can I use that record that you did 30 years ago, plus almost, and put it in a Chrysler commercial today, and I'll gladly pay you $750,000 to license this record. CeeLo Green, Don't You, from the Pussycat Dolls. They used a Heineken can. They had the little miniature Heineken cans, and they had Don't You Wish Your Girlfriend Was Hot Like Me, $375,000 for 30 seconds of usage. So publishing is a lot of things. So it's kind of, you wrote a song, you published the song, whether you want to own ownership, that's administration, but still the fact that you wrote a song and the fact that, you're getting it to the right artist and it blows up. Like example, the CeeLo Green Don't You record has generated over $6 million in the last 6 years off of airplay and people using it in movies and, the record sales of Pussycat Dolls. So it's a big business if you do it right.
Wow. So publishing is really the meat in the sandwich.
Yeah.
Because from the sound of it, music, when it hits big, in the beginning there's this big rush of money. But that interest and that demand dies out. But when you have the publishing worked out the right way, there's money to be made, along the line, as long as you're making music that's timeless.
There you go. It's funny you said that. My boss played me a record today. Pitbull got a record that he just cut, and the record's a smash. Pitbull keeps coming to smashes, but the hook on the record was "I Need a Freak," and it was Adina Howard resampled "Freak Like Me," and he's like, "Wow!" That was the 20-year-old record that somebody said, "Hey, what can I reflip?" Remember that Adina Howard record 20 years ago? So that's important. But it's like you said, it has to be timeless. I don't think, excuse my expression, I don't think, bitches ain't shit or, with these records that's out today, I don't think, not all of them, but most of them, I don't think that 20 years from now, someone's going to be like, I want to remake that. These hoes ain't loyal. You know what I'm saying? So even though it still sounds good, I'm an old head, but I listen to that. I go to the clubs, still rock to those. But you're right. It's about the timeless records. That's why you hear the Motown records 30, 40, years later still getting used in a commercial or just on the radio, period.
Absolutely. Wow, that is amazing.
To answer your question of what we do in general, we collect the monies from you from the from the labels that's called mechanical royalties, which every time the record's sold, you get mechanical royalties. And then there's royalties from airplay, which is performance royalties, meaning every time the record's on the radio, there's a check from BMI or ASCAP or CSAC, so that's a whole other check. And then now you have the Spotify, that's a whole other check. And, so you can, and then the syncs, obviously, for, putting a record in a movie. We just put a record in the movie, Whitey Boulder. What's the movie? The Whitey Boulder story.
Black Mass.
Black Mass, yeah. We just put a song in there, which was Devil Is a Lie, the trailer alone, and it was Rick Ross and Jay-Z, but one of our guys had, a percentage of that, and they paid out $85,000 or $65,000, for the use of that record just in the trailer. Had they used it in a movie, they would have gave another $65,000. So it's big business, big money, and again, going into writing, I think most people should just think how can I make a record that's going to be around or could be used 20 years from now versus the quick fly-by-night money.
So people understand the difference. For an artist that is already, on the radio and getting spins, they're the perfect candidate for a publishing deal.
Right.
For an aspiring artist that hasn't yet reached that mark, but they have the music, they're not yet a candidate for a publishing deal simply because no awareness has been generated yet? Or would you say a publishing deal is actually a good look for a new artist as well?
Well, when Notting Hill first came to America, they didn't have anybody. They was trying to build a brand. So we used to be one of the only companies that would just sign you. Like, Dre, come in and play me a beat. It's hot. Yo, you got a deal? No, we just sign you. And we used to have a line around the corner like a DMV. People want to get down with Notting Hill. So we would just do it. You still had to be hot. But, still had to be hot. It can't be no whackness. But you had potential, like you said, potential. Everybody go to Notting Hill. They cut checks over there. And I was and then years later, we kind of had a freeze on that. And I asked my boss, why were we signing all these things? They said, well, we was nobody, and we had to build that name. So we built the name where in the streets, they were like, go mess with Livio, or go mess with Notting Hill. They cut checks, and we built our brand, our roster fairly quickly to where we did end up with, and then we had to stop because here's the thing. Publishing is business, so therefore it's like, if I give you a check for $150,000 today, how do I get that back? If you're unestablished, it's kind of it's tough as it is even with an established writer producer to get a placement. So unestablished, it gets even harder. So it's like I got to figure out how this guy's going to get that hit and get my money back, or at least break even. If nothing else, it's not about breaking even. But we used to just take our chances, and we found a lot of diamonds in the rough doing that. And I still kind of do it, even though I'm not supposed to do it. What I usually do now is I say, look, you don't really got your weight up. What I need you to do is I'm going to put you in a room with our Willies, our big dogs, and let you write to these Mike Cities, and let you write with Insomniacs, or write with, put you with DJ Khaled's producers or writers or whatever, and then they're riding the wave of someone who's popping off right now. Like I'll say, go work with Eric Bellinger, and then Eric's going to get the placement mostly because of the hype of his name. So now you got a free ride, and then once you get a couple of those free rides, you have equity now. You can say, hey, now I'm back. Thanks for building me up. They used to say fatten the pig. thanks for fattening me up to now. I'm in a position to actually do a deal now. So that's my little kind of what you call incubator program that I do. And like I said, a lot of people don't like that as far as the bosses, because they're like, well, they're not really our. Why are you putting this person on Rihanna, and they're not with us? They might run across the street. That's just a chance I take. So far we've been pretty blessed and lucky. Signed about 4 up-and-comers that are now doing really big things because of that program that I developed. But most people don't do that. They're like, how much money are you making? And just so you know, the formula now is like when people come in the door, the first thing you ask is, okay, who do you have a song on? And some people say, I got 20% on Drake, or I have 50% on Lady Gaga. Those are the things that we really get excited about, because we're about to give you a check for a couple $100,000 or whatever. We know that if not all of it, we'll break even with those kind of things. But when you don't have nothing, it's like I mean, there's people, believe it or not, that did a deal 8 years ago and still haven't gotten a placement. So like, yeah, so people lose money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. So did you see influx in the profitability in publishing, like compared to, let's say, the 80s, or was there more money in publishing back in the day, or has things pretty much stayed the same? Like what has been the history with it being lucrative to do deals in publishing?
I mean, back in the day, definitely. I mean, you're still making millions of dollars. Obviously, all the publishers are still making millions and millions of dollars. And Big John, which is like a really good friend of mine, that now got actually promoted this week to the chairman of Warner Chappell Music Publishing, and those guys make 7 and 8 figures over there, and it is still lucrative. But back in the day, it was better because you gotta understand, this was before the iTunes, and where you had to buy Nelly's whole. We had Air Force Ones on Nelly's album. You had to buy the whole album to get that one record. And back then, if you notice, Nelly was doing $7 million in the sleep, Eminem $9.59 million. And those days are gone. Now, if you're lucky to sell $1.5 million, you killing them. Beyonce $1.6 million. Back then, she was doing $4 million, $3 million, $4 million. So the game has changed. So we're not making the money we used to make because of that. The fact that if I hear a record on the radio, I have to buy the whole album to get that one record. So the reality is that those artists would sell, back then, 1 million, 3 million, 5 million records. So publishers eat like crazy off of 5 million records versus 1 million. And even like Trey Songz of the world is, this last album was amazing to me, but he didn't even go gold. He was stuck at 410,000 or something, or 389. Chris Brown, 410, 415. So it's harder to go platinum nowadays because of all these, streaming and I mean, because think about it. Back then, you're like, I love this record, I gotta have it. You buy the record, and people make money off the records. And if it's a single, radio's gonna play it to death. Now the radio stations are overcrowded. That's why if you listen, it's like they're playing the same stuff over and over and over. Like I heard these same records like 10 times in one day on Power 106. So back in the day, it was a little more broader. Michael Jackson, Janet, you heard a variety, you know what I'm saying? But so it is a lot of money still, obviously, but the Spotify's and all that is changing the game, because I could go and pay $9.99 a month, and I can listen to 30 albums in a month if I want to. Whereas before, $19.99 or $15.99, I had to buy that album. Now I don't got to do none of that. So that's kind of cutting into the game. But publishers are being smart now too. If you look at most publishers, they're saying we're a publishing company, and then we're going to start managing producers. Like as of next week, Notting Hill forms a Notting Hill management company to offset some of the things that may fall short on some of the publishing side. It kind of balances it out.
Yeah, because I was going to say, it almost sounds like the industry shifted in the sense that, the money is being spent in other ways because the music is easily accessible now.
Yeah.
So now people are going to more shows and, buying more merch and, seeing other things that their favorite artists may be involved in, like movies and things of that nature.
Exactly. You got it right.
That's interesting.
Gotta be smart. You gotta diversify nowadays because you can't just depend on. Even record labels can't depend on record labels. That's why they started the 360, saying if you want to sign with me, I got 15% of anything else you do. If you tap dance, I need 15% of that. If you're a movie star, I need 15% of that. It's like, yo, you guys are back. It's like we're losing money here. So we need to get other incomes, tour, merch, they taking all of it. So if the record don't hit and you go on tour, like a Kid Ink, he might not sell, big records, but he's making millions on tour. So guess what? They making their money back off your merch, your tour, your hosting, your, whatever else, little hustle, your movies. So they built that, which is kind of crazy, but to me, I've never seen it, but, it's real. And then they make it where it's like you don't got much of an option. You want to sign at Sony, you need to do that. If you don't want to give up to 15%, then God bless you. And then kind of forces you to be like, okay, all right, let's do it. Or can I do 10? Some people say, that's cool. Some people say that's cool. And some labels be like, no, 15. It is what it is. I'm about to make you a star. I'm about to make you a star. And the sad part is hopefully. So that's the part where this is where I don't agree is where, and I'm a music guy. I'm a manager of artists and producers and actors and a publisher. The part I don't agree is like, okay, if I sign to you and you put my record out and you don't really go all out and the record flops, you still get to eat off my tour, my merch, my publishing. You still eat off everything. So what is the incentive to make me really blow? You don't have to sit back and chill like, well, we throw the record out. If it hits, great. If it don't, oh, well, we're going to still eat off his tour merch and my movies and television and all this other stuff. So that's where the problem is. I don't know how long it's going to last, but I think someone said it's about to phase out. But, they had to run with that.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, publishers have to diversify. Record companies have to diversify. I mean, everything it's a new day, man. I'm 26 years in this game, and the last 10 is when it just kind of got goofy. The other 20 was, the other 16 was amazing. That's the Uptown days, the days of Elektra Records and, Bad Boy in its beginning and Def Jam. Those were the real days and the real money-making days.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. It's so crazy how everything is changing. So from a publishing perspective, then, what genre of music would you consider is, like, doing the best when it comes to sales? Is it EDM now?
It's crazy. It's like EDM is the biggest as far as the access to touring and making money in clubs. But if you look at the charts, like you'll see like singles, like Calvin Harris' single might do a million singles or 2 million singles, but then the album might be stuck at like 190 or 200,000 units with Rihanna, Neo, and the world on it. So it's kind of tricky. I'd say EDM is if I was an artist right now, is where I would be leaning toward because I know when I do a show it's 70,000, 50,000 people, not 3,000. So I'll make my money on the merch and the touring. But as far as record sales, it's really, believe it or not, it's coming back to country. We just started Notting Hill, Nashville, so now we have Notting Hill, London, Notting Hill, L.A., and we just started Notting Hill, Nashville, and about a year ago, and it's been very lucrative for us. So country's kind of like blowing through the roof now, and then I would say pop, obviously, you have your Iggy Azalea, who sold crazy records. More so on the pop side of things. Your Britney, not Britney, but your Taylor Swift of the world consistently does her 4 million albums. So pop and country is probably the biggest selling. EDM is probably the most popular, but it's not the biggest selling as it goes by EPs or albums. Give you an example too, like to me, my boy that did Uptown Funk, right? He did Uptown Funk, the producer, DJ, Mark Ronson. So he did Uptown Funk. That record is almost 10 million singles now. This is a singles game. That's another thing. It's a singles game now. That's so they did 10 million singles on Uptown Funk, approaching. But the album is like 190,000 albums. So like, God damn, that big record, and you didn't move the album. Because people are now more about the song now. They're like, okay, I might buy the album. Or I listen to the album on iTunes I don't really like, but a few records, so I'm just going to buy those few records. If iTunes wasn't here, and I'm not knocking iTunes, it's a good hustle. But if they wasn't here, then you wouldn't know what's on the record. You have to go buy the whole album to see what else is on the record. And that's where the real money was. But now it's like
word of mouth.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So now if I can go to iTunes, like, let me listen to this Mark Ronson album. Oh, he did oh man, I like 2 records. I'm just gonna get and the rest of the album sits stagnant. That's why the album's not at 200. But my single's 10 million because 10 million people bought the single. Plus the single's only $1.29 versus an album of $15.99 or $12.99. So that's kind of where we're going. That's why labels don't even really want to do an album deal now. They'll say, let's do an EP deal. Let's do your best 5 or 6 records. See if that does well. Then we'll do another 5 or 6 records, break it up, and then if that does well, then we'll consider an album because at least we know you have a fan base. But
Livio, I have a quick question for you. So do you see that? I know you said like you can't knock the hustle of iTunes, but do you see that as a sign of the times though? Because like I mean, even if you look at the way we do social media now, if you remember back in the day, MySpace was huge, and you can edit your page and you can make web pages. And now we're just big on things like Instagram. We can just throw a picture up real quick because we can't tune in anymore for like longer than like a couple of seconds, or even Twitter 140 characters. So do you see this as a sign of the times, and it's something that we just have to accept moving forward? That we can just really tune in for 1 or 2 songs?
Yeah, I think it's like you said, like it's the future of where we at, and it's all about the technology and keeping up, at the end of the day. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people that's not going to be able to keep up, so that's where you find these companies that's losing, and that's why they have to diversify just like everybody else. Like, let me manage you, let me publish you, let me do everything for you. So, it's like the 360 pretty much, like shit.
Yeah.
If your record don't sell, at least I could probably make some money as your manager, But yeah, it's a tough game, man. But and I always said though, I said, look, if I was to start any kind of company in the music business, it would be publishing because the record companies, we don't know where they're going with this Spotify and iTunes and Apple streaming and all that. It could be doors could start closing in the next 5 or 10 years. Could be closed, Motown no more, whatever. But publishing is going to always be there because people always going to need music for something, whether it's a TV commercial, a car commercial, a movie, a television show. Artists, even if they're streaming, they're going to need records. So, so publishing, if I had to pick between a label, like somebody came and said, look, I got $5 million to start a label or a publishing company, I would do the publishing company hands down because that's not going anywhere. That's going to be around forever.
Yeah.
While the Beatles are still making money from the Beatles. It's never
That's
going
true. So do you think that, just like the corporations are having to take on more of a hybrid model, do you think that the target talent is more so the hybrid talent that isn't just an artist but can act and, do, multitude of things, kind of like your artist, Jonathan McDaniel, right?
Yes,
Do you see that that's kind of where the industry is headed from a talent perspective as well?
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that because, it's funny, though, we had this conversation, this other artist I was talking about the other day, and she was just like, remember 10 years ago when you went to a label and you said, Jonathan, he's an actor, he's a, artist, they was like, well, you got to pick one and choose one. You can't be both. And then when the iTunes came and the sales started depreciating, and they're like, yo, does he act? Does he sing? Does he tap dance? what else can he do? So it's like, so you're right. It's like you have to have more than one skill. You have to, with this kid, I've been with him for 16 years, and he's 14. He just turned 30, and this kid is an artist. and he's an R&B. He's more of a hip hop artist, but he also now is gravitating heavily on the EDM. So he has an EDM album. He has a hip hop Drake kind of an album. He's also an actor, and now he's going into DJing as a resident celebrity DJ. So if the record sales don't go, he can make money as a DJ. If the DJ don't pop off, he can make money doing movies. If they all pop off, then we're rich. You know, so it's almost like, and it's almost like you said, when you're A&R or whatever, or publisher, that's the first thing you say. Well, what other skills do you have? Before it was like, yo, that kid is dope. He's Neo. He writes his ass off. Sign him. Now it's like, but does he act at least? And does he do what else? You know, so it's like you gotta, like you said, sign of the times. You gotta change. If not, you're gonna be left behind, and that's unfortunate. But you know. So
wow.
That's just, you know, even with me as who I am, I was a writer producer first, then I turned manager. Well, actually, no, writer producer artist on Uptown Records. Then I went to Rough House Records, and then I became a manager. And then from manager, I started consulting for other companies, and then I started getting great talent like Jonathan does actors, and then we started a film and TV company off his hype. And then so it's like, oh, he's a TV guy, he's a movie guy, he's a publisher, he's a manager, he's a consultant, and you know, and I'm working on my autobiography right now. So it's just you got to just shake it all up and put it in a bag, man, and see what sticks, and hope it all sticks. If not, something's bound to stick. With Jonathan, it was the acting. He's making more money hand over fist with the movie and TV stuff than he ever has with the music. But he loves the art of music first, is his first love, so he's going to do that to the day he dies. It's kind of like Idris Elba. He said he loves the music more than acting. He's like a DJ. He's like, I love producing and DJing more than acting, but acting pays the bills way more, obviously. But so that's kind of like you said, you have to be smart enough to be multifaceted, multi-talented. And if you're not, then I guess it's like do the best you can with what you got, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with that being said, what can we expect from Livio Harris in the next few, months? What can we expect from you that we should keep our eyes open for?
Well, definitely from me, what you'll see is Jonathan as far as my management hat, doing bigger and bigger, super bigger movies and television things. Publishing-wise, we started the management company as of next week, 2016. We're hoping to be able to manage somebody on the level of a Pharrell or a Teddy Riley or those caliber of, and up-and-comers as well. But a big management company for Notting Hill. The management side for me is discovering incredible writers and producers as well as artists. And, so it's the film, TV, publishing, same stuff I've been doing, just trying to expand with bigger names, obviously. And like I said, the book, the autobiography, is my life story of, 26 years of helping the world and doing all these great things and still here. And coming from the street side first, and I'm going to keep it 100 with that, and it's a little bit of street stuff in the beginning, and then went to the military, Marines, and got out of the Marines. They said I wasn't going to be nothing, and I came to Cali, and here I am. So that's going to be the autobiography of, they say it's going to be called The Known But Unknown. So it's kind of like the world knows you, but they don't really know you. They don't know half of what you've done for people. So that's why we're going to call it The Known But Unknown.
Wow.
Guy in a white suit or whatever, but that's the main focus. And some people could be known, they could be known, but it's like, but people don't really know, like, that you did this for this company, brought it from London to America, blew it up. They just know that you work for Notting Hill, but what you guys are digging into is, how did this all start? It's like,
absolutely. Everybody think you just a dude in the white suit with the white hat walking around Hollywood. At all the events, walking on all the red carpets.
Right. Like, who is this dude, man? Like, okay. You read about it. Oh, I didn't know. You're right. I made millionaires. Wow. Damon Thomas is one of the underdogs. I mean, I brought him out here 1990 when I came, and, he's the underdogs. They done made millions and millions and millions and millions. And if you ever see him on the streets and say, Livio Harris, like, man, I wouldn't be in the business if it wasn't for Livio. He made me city. Brought me to L.A. He wrote to my first tracks ever. As a matter of fact, this dude has a cassette tape, believe it or not, that looks like it's brand new, and it's 26 years old. And he keeps it on him like, I don't know if it's his good luck charm or something to remind him where he came from. But you're the first guy that ever wrote to my music ever, and he got those on that cassette still. So it was me singing 26 years ago. So I'm like, wow. And some stuff I forget. I just help people, man, and I don't even think about it. Like prime example, there's a girl on Empire, the rapper chick, Frida Bars. I got her on the show. Don't manage her, but don't manage her. They hit me. They're looking for this type of girl, lesbian chick that can spit for real. Found her through my friend China, and she's on the show now. She's done 7 episodes, a record deal with Tubby. She's out of here. So those are the things that I feel good about, and I didn't ask for $1. Just remember me when you blow. That's all. Shout me out.
Wow, man.
That's kind of like the newest deed that I did. That was real fresh. And I don't know if you saw Empire, but she's killing it right now.
Yeah, man. She is. I definitely saw that. She definitely is.
She's definitely
man. That's an amazing backstory.
Yeah, so I've helped the world, and that's why the book has. That's why my client actually inspired me. He said, "Man, you need to do a book, dude. People don't know the guy in the white suit that helped a lot of millionaires and never got credited for it. Don't even look for the credit. Just shout me out. Remember how you got there. When you see me on the street, that means more to me, because I always get the blessings from God. Give me more blessings for blessing other people, then I get bigger blessings over here. So that's why I look at it.
That's what's up, man. And how can the people find you on social media?
Yes, Facebook is Livio, Livio, V is Victory, I-O, Harris. It's the same across the board, like on my Instagram, Livio Harris. Twitter's at Livio Harris. Facebook, Livio Harris. Yep, all day.
Yeah, man.
I just want to commend you on this magazine, man. Dre stepped to me on it. He showed me the quality. I told somebody the other day, I said, man, they got a quality to book. Everybody does books, all day. They do magazines all day. But the quality reminds me of like a coffee table joint in a Beverly Hills hotel or somewhere in Miami. Like I'm in Miami at Fontainebleau, and they got those magazines on the thing that you can read. It looks like a very classy magazine.
Thank you, man. That's actually the look we're going for, man. That's why we're interviewing people of your credentials. And, we're trying to make sure that we keep it at that standard.
No, I totally appreciate it, man. I'm about to go to the Revolt Convention this weekend. This week, actually. Thursday through Monday, I'll be back. But even when I'm out there, I'll think of I'll run into, the Andre Harrells, who's my mentor, obviously, and people of that caliber, and just kind of, give me some type of, link or something to spread it while I'm out there to the right people, obviously. How to reach y'all, how to just write interviews with y'all,
Definitely. Make sure you got everything you need.
Okay.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it, Livio. We definitely do, man. And
Thank you.
I definitely plan on catching up with you in the near future. Maybe we can catch up for the Grammy issue that we're going to put out and recap on all the Notting Hill success.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you, Dre, as always. Thank you, Ali. Appreciate you.
No, thank you so much, Livio. Appreciate you.
No doubt.
Absolutely. All right, fellas. Have a good one. Peace.
Yep.